How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Liberty Hour, streaming through Spreaker Studio and the A2 Jack YouTube channel. And if you guys hear a little bit of a noise in the background, it is my fan. I'm sorry, but the room that I am in is about 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and I needed something to cool me down for the end of the show. So we are back, and we are going to go ahead and get on to the next issue here, which I heard what Chris said just now. He said, I don't see... Oh, because maybe it took like 2 minutes or so. It's on now, Chris. I'm sure you can hear us now. But anyways, all right, there we go. Perfect. Glad you can hear it. Next question I wanted to go ahead and ask you guys, though, is, and this could be, any sports game, anything you play like out during recess or lunchtime and lunch during school. This could be video games, board games, whatever. What is the best or most fun game of all time for you guys? It could be anything. I'll go ahead and start with Ricky this time. Ricky, what do you say?
All right, well, I feel like I could probably give this like two answers, because I don't want to like just generalize like a video game with like an outdoor game answer. Well, it's just because like, I don't know, I don't want to say like, oh, this video game is better than going outside and playing tag. Like, that's two totally different things. But I don't know, I'd say, like, I'll start off with video games, dude. Like, there's this one video game that I played as a kid that I probably should not have played as a kid. I don't know if you guys have ever heard me talk about it. It's called Conker's Bad Fur Day. It's for the Nintendo 64, and it was originally going to be a game like, what's it called, like Banjo-Kazooie, just a nice little family fun-friendly game, go around collecting stuff. And then, like, the developers of the game were like, no, we have too many games like this out in the world. Let's just totally turn it around. It turned into an adults-only game that was super violent and sexual and whatnot, so I should not have been playing that as a kid. But it's really just about a squirrel who gets hung over and tries to go show up to his girlfriend's house, and a bunch of things happen in one day where he ends up, like riding a T-Rex and biting off like some caveman's ball sacks, and then like rolling a whole poo turd up a mountain.
Oh, I think I remember this game.
Throwing toilet paper inside of a giant turd monster that sings opera at you, and then like fighting some big old hay bundle that turns into the Terminator. I don't know. It just completely turned into a different game. But yeah, anyway, so that video game was definitely not for me to be playing when I was like 8, but I played it, loved it, got it again in the future.
I think I remember.
Dude, I'll just leave it at that. Honestly, dude.
Eating someone's ball sack? What the hell?
Like, I don't know what
you
could.
You're eating someone's ball sack when you're.
No, not me, bro. The dinosaur. I was in charge of the dinosaur. Dude, there was like hoverboards on lava when hoverboards weren't even a thing yet. All right, there's my Conker's Bad Fur Day for the Nintendo 64.
Michael, what about you, bro?
Wait, Ricky has a second one.
No, bro. I think that's it. Like, you can't top that. Like, no real life game can top that off. Honestly.
All right. Now, I don't know. I think you're asking me kind of broadly, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know if you can consider it a game, but I love playing with the Rubik's Cube, even though I only know the basic algorithms. I think it's really relaxing, and it's just like so simple, but it's really fun.
What's the fastest you've ever solved one?
I can't remember my fastest time. It's definitely under 40 seconds, but that's just with like the beginner's algorithm. So I could go pretty fast. I just don't know a lot of algorithms.
That's pretty darn impressive. I have never been able to solve a Rubik's Cube. I can solve one side, but I cannot solve the whole thing.
I can't do that, dude. If it came down to trying to solve that to like save all of humanity, well then like just start praying, guys.
It just takes practice. That's all.
Yeah, for sure. Now in terms of like my favorite games, I mean, it's not like a favorite game, but I enjoy playing card games with you guys, like Cards Against Humanity and What Do You Mean and stuff like that. But in terms of video game, my favorite video game, still, I gotta give it to Donkey Kong 64. It's OG. It's awesome.
Wow.
I love the game. It's such a fun game. That or the Star Wars Racer on the 64 was really fun as well. That was before Battlefront came out. Battlefront's also fun. But no, Donkey Kong 64 is so fun. I beat the whole game, and it was the only game where I actually won any money on. I beat the final level. I beat the Donkey Kong arcade game 3 times, and my dad gave me, I think it was $100 for it, and I was so freaking happy. You know how happy I was as a 12, 13-year-old? And by the way, I completed the game, fun little fact, while the whole tanker fire was going on. That was when I completed the game, so it was a perfect time for it as well.
Oh my
Wow.
God, dude, I forgot about that tank of fire. I think we had cocks in our backyard too. We had roosters and whatnot. And then we kind of had to move to a hotel. And then, we came back like 4 days later, whatever, they were just dead.
Damn.
What? Yo, you didn't like throw some food out? Get a tray of water?
No, yeah, I mean, we threw food and water out, but then, like, I think I remember one of them was, like, being eaten alive, because we had four of them. One of them was kind of like, the hair was coming off, which means that the other one started biting them off of them. But we couldn't come back to our house because we had to get evacuated. We were within the 1 mile radius.
Dude, I was as well,
Yeah.
but I stayed inside. We were not about to leave our house. Did you go into the hotel, you said?
Yeah, I went to one, where was it, dude? It was like, it started with the Q. It was somewhere over by United Artists, I think.
I remember they had to
Yeah.
I remember they had to bring some guys in from like Texas to help get that thing all taken care of. That was pretty crazy. I was back in, I think, in between 7th and 8th grade, but anyways, that was when I completed it. In terms of other games though, outside of that, like I mentioned, there's a couple of other card games. I mean, I've enjoyed playing, like other smaller games as well. Like I remember I was a huge Angry Birds kid when I was growing up. I played that game, and I've actually at one point got like, I think, 93rd in the world or something like that. I think I got like
Yeah. I'll see it and I'll believe
Yeah,
it.
man.
It was maybe
Alright,
the
bro, my
country
boy
or
was
something.
already
It was
moving
maybe
on
the
his way to
country or
esports.
something. But I remember that I got 93rd and out of like a ton of people. I don't remember what it was. I just remember that number.
There's probably
It was
93
crazy.
out of 100.
No bullshit. No,
Yeah, I'm playing.
but I remember playing that, and that was pretty fun. So that would probably be my answer to that.
Okay.
But yeah. A couple of quick things I was going to say real quick. I didn't really get to update you guys on my day or how things been going. Really.
Well,
as things got-
actually, before you get into that, I have something that I want to say.
go for it. Go for it. Okay, nothing. All right, sounds good. Awesome. Awesome. That's great,
Alright.
Michael. Thank
That's
you
cool,
for
too.
wasting 5 seconds from the part. I appreciate that. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and mute you. So today I actually got to train people at my place of work at Top Golf. It was actually a really cool experience. I think that's really kind of cool when you work for a place long enough. You actually kind of get to I don't want to say turn the tables, but you kind of get to bring it full circle, if you will. And I thought that was a pretty cool experience from earlier today. Also, really quick, if you guys have not listened to KSSU Radio, mine and Ricky's shows are both on there. The SmackDown Hotel, which is my show where I talk about everything in the WWE world, along with everything that's going on in the sports world. I have that on Mondays from 9 to 10 in the morning, and then Ricky's show is on Thursdays. We actually basically swapped showtimes. Last semester we had each other's showtimes. Ricky's show is from 11 to noon on KSSU Radio. And Ricky, how are you liking it so far?
Honestly, dude, I dig it because, like, right after class, I still get, like, a 45-minute break, so I can just set up and do whatever. And then the show goes on for an hour, then I gotta hand it over to DJ Quizzy, a.k.a. the manager in charge of KSSU. And then I get, like, an hour and a half break still before my next class starts, so I just use that for lunch. So it's pretty cool, dude.
Nice. Ricky's show called Make It Bounce on Thursdays from 11 to noon on KSSU Radio, streaming through the TuneIn Radio app.
Hey, Ricky, make what bounce?
Wait, make what bounce, bro? Make it bounce, bro. You know what I'm talking about?
Hey, no.
Yeah, bro.
I'm glad that I don't have enough subscribers on YouTube, because this would be hashtag demonetized.
So, Aaron,
yes.
On the topic of music, I heard that you're trying to get into music yourself, sir.
Well,
Would you like to elaborate on that?
I am interested in doing more stuff on music for sure. I'm working on trying to maybe write some certain songs and stuff like that. Working on trying to learn some things about vocals and stuff, everything. So yes, I am very much so interested in it, and we'll see how it is like going forward. But yes.
So you want to focus like on the songwriting part of music, or do you want to be like a SoundCloud rapper?
I don't want to be a SoundCloud rapper, but I mean, I think, kind of just see how it goes. It's I'm just going to kind of take it as just like a small hobby for right now and make it into it a little bit more as time goes along, personally. Sorry, Michael.
Can we hear a line?
No, you cannot hear a line yet. I have one song that I wrote that I don't care about anymore. I have another song that I wrote that I do still care about, and I have another song that I started earlier today that I'm about one verse through. So
you can't drop one line, just one.
I mean, it's not like it's nothing special. I mean, here, let me see.
Hey, just give me an idea, just one line.
Well, first thing I gotta find it.
I'm sorry, you got to copyright that idea because I think Michael has a studio too where he does a bunch of singing and whatnot.
You know, that's on the back burner right now.
So here's here's the chorus to one of the songs I wrote.
Okay.
Again, this could change. Again,
Yeah.
you can infer it the way you want. You ask for the drop of the line, so I'll do it. Hide away, fly away, ease the pain. Don't play their game. They're all masking their true selves, and you don't have to play the same.
Oh!
Damn, boy, watch out. You came up with that?
Yes, I did.
Boulder!
Dude.
I was expecting something slower or something.
Dude, you
Well, that's not the pace it would be in the song. It would obviously be different with the melody, but still.
Oh, I got you. Damn, that was hot. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. But if you get that to flow, like, with some kick drums and, like, I'd just be like,
Okay. All right.
Well, anyways, there you go, everyone. Yes, I am getting into some music, so that answers that for us here. Getting into one of the final things I actually wanted to talk to you guys about is an issue that I've just found pretty interesting for a while, and it's the issue of, does life imitate art or vice versa? Does art imitate life? The reason I bring this up is, I think I've mentioned this before on the show. Obviously, am interested in certain conspiracy theories, but I also watch Shane Dawson once in a while, and he did a video back about a year and a half ago where he talked a little bit about it, and there was a couple things I found very interesting about it. If you guys have watched Breaking Bad, obviously you know of Walter White. There was a real guy in real life called Walter White who actually got charged for opening up a meth lab, the same thing in relation kind of to Breaking Bad in general, and there's other things as well, but that's one of the key findings that I got out of watching the video, and I just kind of wanted to get your guys' thoughts, and this can kind of relate, I guess, a little bit to our conversation we had a little bit earlier on time, but what is your guys' thought? I'll go ahead and start with you, Michael. Do you feel life imitates art and vice versa? What's your thoughts?
You know, I don't really understand that question, but I'll tell you what sounds better is art imitates life, because I believe we create art and we create art based off our lives. So that just makes sense right there. The other one don't really make sense. Gotcha. So that's that.
Okay, Ricky, what about you? What's your thoughts?
Honestly, I'm kind of with Michael on the same boat. I think honestly, like, what we perceive as art is, you know, made from what has influenced us in our life or influenced us from other people's life. That's how art, you know, is brought up and turned into either music or like drawings, portrayals, or poetry and all this stuff. It's just because of stuff that's happened to other people or stuff that happens to people during their life. So I'm pretty sure art's an imitation of life, but I'm curious to think what you have to say if it's the other one.
Well, actually, what I was going to talk about is something that I find really interesting. It's something that Chris actually showed to me yesterday, and it's not 100% related to necessarily the issue I'm talking about. However, and I'll send this video to you guys after the show. But he sent me this video from Vox of this. Why is this creepy melody in so many movies? It's like a 4-note melody, and it actually comes from like the 13th century. It's like a religious kind of like song when there's like a passing away, and it's almost you notice it in so many sad movies or so many horror movies and stuff like that. And I think it kind of in relation to that when you look at it, how that can kind of relate to things down the road. And as you mentioned, I know you believe everything's in the past. That is something where I feel is something that might possibly contradict that I feel is very interesting. So I do believe it does in certain cases. There was another case of a movie where I can't remember exactly what it's called. I want to say it's called Scream, where this woman murders her husband, and then in reality, the pictures that were in that film look very similar to pictures that were taken by another woman who actually murdered her husband in real life later on. So again, it's just a couple of cases, but then you look at everything when it comes to all the stuff before 9/11 of like the towers and stuff like that. There was a couple that showed like the towers like falling, or a couple of the towers being attacked, and that was before 9/11. That was on like cartoons and everything. So I just find it very interesting. I definitely think it's quite possible. I'll get your guys' responses to that when we get back for our final part of the Liberty Hour. Stay tuned, everyone.